Today, more and more patients are involved with the authorities who regulate medicines, and here at the European Medicines Agency, we welcome and encourage this kind of involvement. This video is intended to provide information for patient representatives who have been invited to participate in one of our scientific meetings. All patients invited to the EMA receive training and support related to the activity they will participate in. It is important that patients are fully informed on the issues that will be discussed and their role as a patient.
When I got asked to come to this meeting, I was quite interested because I suppose most people as well, I didn't think about what happens behind the scenes of the process of approving a medicine for the general public to use. So I was intrigued to find out a little bit more about it.
These meetings are convened to discuss issues related to a particular medicine for which a patient's valuable input can enhance and complement the overall information and discussions. But firstly, to begin, let us explain a little bit more about who is the European Medicines Agency and what is our role. The EMA is the European body based in London which evaluates human and veterinary medicines for use throughout Europe. Our core task is to evaluate applications from pharmaceutical companies who are applying for a license to sell a new medicine. Together with experts from across Europe, the EMA assesses whether the medicines are safe and effective enough for use. Based on the EMA's recommendations, the European Commission then may grant an authorization which would be valid throughout all European member states. Once authorized, the EMA monitors these medicines to ensure they remain safe over time and once they are being used. The work at the EMA is carried out by scientific committees who are assisted by a network of European experts and by the EMA Secretariat. This work is complemented by the valuable real-life input that we receive from patient representatives.
The patients have been involved in the work of the agency since the agency started in 1995, and they have progressively been involved as member of committees, member of the management board, and then we have further developed the interaction by involving them in the evaluation.
Patients get involved in a wide range of EMA activities. For example, discussions on the medicines that are being evaluated, reviewing the package leaflets that go with the medicines, providing input on the scientific advice given to companies on the development of medicines, participating in many of the conferences and workshops that the agency organises, and also participating in scientific advisory group meetings, SAGs.
At the end of the day, though, the treatment is intended for people, and we need to know how that treatment is going to affect people, but we also need someone with fresh eyes to come along and tell us what it's like to be a person who's receiving treatment.
Patient input is included throughout the life cycle of the medicine, from a company's first contact with the agency, through the evaluation phase, and even after the medicine receives its authorization. Two key areas where patients are invited to participate are when the companies request advice on their development plans, called scientific advice, and when a committee convenes a scientific advisory group meeting to discuss a specific medicine. These meetings are generally half-day meetings and will include the core members of the group, additional invited experts, including patients, EMA staff, and representatives from the company who has developed the medicine. A patient is asked to join the meeting so that they can provide their views and experience from a real-life perspective. The patient is not expected to give any scientific input, but rather to enrich the discussions by providing their own valuable insights.
Scientific advice procedures are voluntary. Companies come to us with the questions for which they want answers, and they can ask questions about a whole range of things, such as how to make medicines and how to test them in test tubes and other systems, but also, very importantly, what kinds of clinical trials to do to investigate these new medicines. The Scientific Advice Working Party, or the SAWP, is based at the agency, and this is the part of the regulatory network, the European regulatory network, that is responsible for putting together the answers to these questions. So patients, we can ask you to give your input at a discussion meeting in person or in writing also. And at a discussion meeting, you can be asked for your views in terms of the background treatments and how these are used in real life, or the feasibility, the workability of a of a clinical trial from a patient's point of view.
We consult SAGs during the evaluation of what we call a marketing authorization, basically companies who want their product to be on the market need to have this product approved. They need to conduct studies and submit these studies to the agency. The assessment is done by our scientific committee, but there are times where the committee during the assessment encounters specific questions which are probably better answered by clinicians which are specialized in the field. And this is clinicians or patients indeed who are experts in the field, and this is indeed where the scientific advisory groups come in. First, our scientific committee members explain the questions, then the company explains their point of view on the questions, and then only the SAG is left to discuss without the company the answers which are given back to the scientific committee. And then the meeting ends with an agreement on the written answers. It has been shown in many studies, in many diseases, that patients can have a very different perception of the value of certain effects or the importance of certain side effects. And so there is a unique perspective that the patient can bring to this meeting.
Patients are contacted via a wide network of European patient organisations, and 1 or 2 patients are usually invited to attend each meeting. Once a patient has agreed to participate, they are sent forms to complete, and once this is processed, they will receive an official invitation together with travel booking options. The agency has a dedicated department who can organise their travel for them.
Well, agency did more than travel. The agency did booking for me, flight and hotel. Anyway, no objection. Excellent. Excellent job.
Background information on the issues for discussion is also sent out in advance to give patients ample time to prepare for the meeting. This information and the discussions during the meeting are confidential, and this is until an outcome has been published on our website. An EMA staff member is always available to answer any questions they may have on any of the issues under discussion.
Ema gave me a lot of background and a lot of time to study the background, so I came here full prepared.
As you have seen, it is really important for the agency to include a patient's perspective in its work, and we very much appreciate their time, efforts and input.
The point of view of the patient, their real-life experience, this is why they are here, and they shouldn't feel shy about that.
It's a relatively small meeting, 10-15 experts, and there will be time to introduce yourself, the time to ask clarifications if you need. So it's a setting where I think you will feel very quickly that you know everybody around the table.
Identify the issues that you think really matter to you and to other people, for example, with the condition that's being discussed, and then speak out.
We want this to be a positive experience for you as a patient, and that you can leave here knowing more about how we regulate medicines and that the agency is welcoming for you as a patient.
Well, try not to drink too much coffee and you'll be relaxed at the meeting.